Hey guys, welcome to another F1 2020 video here on the channel. As an extra video, of course, FIFA content coming out later today as per usual. For the first time, I'm able to show you other cars on track now. So, rather understandably, as the first race, we're going to be doing Lewis Hamilton at the British Grand Prix, the six-time world champion on 100% difficulty, with using the controller as opposed to the wheel on this occasion. Just showing you my gameplay settings and assists in the background if you were curious. A short 5-lap race. What I decided to do was, well, bin it in qualifying, as you'll be able to see here, so that we started at the back of the grid and we had the opportunity to make some extra overtakes. Now, I am slightly higher in difficulty here on the pad than I am with the wheel at present. I'm still a little bit scrappy with the wheel, but I will be bringing you some more wheel footage later on in the week, and I'll be showing you the setup itself in that video as well. But for the time being, we're going to concentrate on this British Grand Prix here with Lewis Hamilton. If you're enjoying the F1 2020 content here on the channel, then do let me know in the comment section down below. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying, and of course, follow me over on Twitch on the link in the description down below if you haven't already, where we will be streaming a hell of a lot of this game when it fully launches on the 10th of July. It's less than a month away now, and hopefully on the next build we get issued here with the early access work in progress version, we should be able to stream that as well. So there will be early streams coming with this early access version, as well as Matt Gallagher is telling Lando Norris exactly what to and what not to do in this upcoming Grand Prix. But we're starting at the back of the grid, as we say, so we should hopefully have the opportunity to make some overtakes. Now, ordinarily, I would be doing 100% race distance, but on this occasion, just for this short video, we have a 5-lap race here as we push into turn 1, which ordinarily is flat out when the Grand Prix is in full flow. But obviously from the start, everybody slowing up here as there's not much room left on the grid with 20 cars all bunched up close together. But we have been able to make a couple of overtakes initially in the first sector. You can see here a replay of me just getting it around the outside of the AlphaTauri and dipping in behind Antonio Giovinazzi as we push down the Wellington straight. He's gone defensive immediately, and you will notice from this gameplay that the AI are slightly more aggressive in attack and in defense than they have been previously on F1 2019. Giovinazzi went immediately defensive there, though, and we were thankfully able to power past him around the outside as we headed into the left-hander there. Pushing on down the old pit straight here, trying to chase down the racing point of Lance Stroll, but rather understandably, he's got a Mercedes engine in his car, and I can't just power past him, although I am running a default setup here in this video. And one thing I did notice was that this particular default setup was running too much aero for Silverstone. So on some of the straights, you'll notice here, I'm right in the slipstream of the racing point, but not able to catch up and overtake. That's purely because I'm running a lot of aerodynamics on this default setup. Ordinarily, I would have taken some aero out to make myself slightly faster in a straight line, but very aggressive with the defense through Stowe. And then, thankfully, as we head into the final chicane before the start of the new lap, we were able to force our way past Lance Stroll, who was, well, he quite frankly ran me off the road. I had the inside of the turn there at Stowe previously as we were heading towards the end of the lap. Was able to get my car alongside, and he just basically pushed me off the track on the inside. Thankfully, able to get the move done regardless. No loss of traction and spinning out. And as we head into lap 2, it's time to chase down the Haas of... No, sorry, it's the AlphaTauri in front of me now of Daniel Kvyat, the Russian driver, trying again to get a lot closer to the cars in front of me as we push around the Luffield and Woodcote turns here and getting very close to the back of the AlphaTauri. But again, an example of not necessarily having the straight line speed with this current setup, with the default setup on the car. As you can see, he's pulling away from me here. However, I do gain back through the high-speed turn of Copse. An example, again, of how much extra aero we've got on the car, able to take much more speed through the apex of that turn. And as we come through Maggots and Beckett's, we get a good exit here. No DRS yet, of course. That's activated at the end of lap 2. Trying to close down, if we can, on the AlphaTauri in front, and we'll do so again through the right-hander of Stowe. Actually able to take it properly this time, running slightly wide on exit, though. And again, the AI going slightly defensive on me here as we try and give a little squirt of the throttle up the inside, and we're able to make that move stick. Here's that move again from the onboard of Daniel Kvyat. You'll see me just, hello, up the inside. There we go. Thank you very much. We'll have that position, and we're another space higher. Another onboard this time from Daniel Kvyat, and you'll see me just shoot up the inside there and make the move stick. So across the line into another lap of this Grand Prix and into lap 3. DRS now available at this stage of the Grand Prix as we push around the first sector, trying again to close in on the cars in front of us. I will have to rely on that DRS though, coming down this next Wellington straight, but we are able to get a little bit closer. Running a little bit wide on exit, but not too much to worry there as we now activate the DRS for the first time in this British Grand Prix, chasing down the car in front and hopefully, again, trying to utilise the extra downforce we've got in these high-speed turns. A little bit slower speed, though, of course, through Woodcote. Trying to get a better exit, if possible, to power on towards Cops, which we are just able to do, but his extra grunt in a straight line is going to help him. We are able to close up, though. I will slightly ease off the accelerator as we come through Cops, just to ensure we don't run into the back of Kevin Magnussen. He's not going to appreciate that if we take him off track. Again, similarly through Magnussen-Beck, it's taking a little bit off the gas slightly early to ensure we don't make contact with the car in front, but we nail the exit here, as you can see, closing right down on the AlphaTauri, and then with DRS, we're going to continue to get closer and closer down the straight, and hopefully, as we have made a habit of in this Grand Prix so far, we're going to be able to make a move into that final chicane. Again, the AI are going to go slightly defensive, riding just off board here with the Haas, and he's actually able to stay ahead of me just around that chicane, but we get just a better exit and nearly make contact, but we are able to push our way past him and up into P13 with 2 laps to go. So time to chase down his Haas teammate, Romain Grosjean, as we push into the first sector again for the 4th time. There's a big gaggle of cars up ahead, and as you can see, obviously we've made our way through the pack quite well in these opening laps, but if we were on a 100% race distance, then we perhaps might not have been able to utilise strategy to this point, with, of course, having gone through the full qualifying set and having 3 different opportunities to set a time. Obviously, we would imagine that we'd have made it up into Q3 and had to use slightly older tyres here at the beginning of the Grand Prix, because we started the Grand Prix at the back. We were able to have fresh rubber alongside everybody else, but ordinarily we would have had slightly worn tyres, which would have meant our progression through the grid or through the pack wouldn't have been quite so rapid, and we would have taken longer to get through towards the front positions. But obviously with just a 5-lap race, wanted to have fresh rubber and try and make it up as far as we possibly could, but obviously on a higher difficulty. 5 laps isn't a long time to try and work your way through. So here down the Wellington straight, down the back straight into Stowe, get him under braking and in through the turn. This is that move again on board from the rear wing of Sergio Perez ahead of us, pulling out alongside and swooping through up into P12. Now then, time to chase down the racing point of Sergio Perez. We made it through 2 Williams, 2 AlphaTauris, 2 Haas, and 1 racing point so far. Time to chase down the second car in pink here. If you're enjoying the video, do make sure you let me know in the comment section down below what track you'd like to see next. I'll try and get some wheel gameplay for you in the next episode or next video, and let me know which driver you'd like me to use as well. And of course, I shall take that feedback on board and do as you wish. So trying again to close down as we head into the second sector, and doing so very well indeed. Now, I thought I'd try and hang it out around the outside of Woodcote here, try and get on the power early and get past the racing point. I wasn't quite able to do so, running wide, losing traction there on the gravel, and unfortunately that meant that Sergio Perez was able to open up an advantage over me, and I wasn't able to close that advantage back down. And before the Grand Prix ended, we will be able to close up on him throughout the course of the rest of this final lap. But unfortunately, P12 is where we will be finishing this Grand Prix. And I am planning on doing a My Team career mode on Twitch live once the game fully launches. So if you're interested in seeing that, then do make sure you follow me on Twitch on the link below, so that you can keep up to speed with everything. We'll be using both the wheel and the controller throughout the course of that career mode, and it will of course as ever be 100% race distance. You can see we have been able to close up to Sergio Perez, and obviously if the race were to continue longer, we'd have made more progress through the field. But 8 places in 5 laps on 100 difficulty, which is the difficulty that I normally play on F1 2019, is actually, I'm quite happy with that. On a new game where there is some significant differences to the handling model and to the way that the car feels with regards putting traction down. There's a lot more slip in the rear axle, and I did find it quite difficult to control the oversteer in that race. I am finding it more difficult with the wheel, and I do need to alter my settings slightly, give myself some extra force feedback, because of course in the controller you can feel the vibration through the trigger on your accelerator as you're putting the power down, and you can feel that loss of traction, whereas you don't get that through the pedals on the wheel. And I don't quite think I've had too high a force feedback setting on, and I've been losing the back end slightly more than perhaps I'd like to. But Ferrari get a 1-2 here at the British Grand Prix. Seb getting the victory ahead of Charles Leclerc, with my Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas coming home in third. But that's going to be all for this Grand Prix and this episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Do drop the video a like, as I say, if you enjoyed. Let me know what track and driver you'd like me to use next, and that will come either later this week or next weekend. And hopefully we shall have some stream gameplay for you over the next couple of weeks. You can see there my fastest lap was actually faster than the rest of the grid, other than the top 5 at 129.2. But whilst working my way through traffic, that's quite a decent lap, to be fair. Only a couple of tenths slower than Alex Albon, who was probably in a decent amount of clean air there, with 2.5 seconds, or 2 seconds almost, between him and Max Verstappen. But never mind, that's where the video is going to end. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully looking forward to some more F1 2020 here on the YouTube channel, but of course FIFA later on this afternoon, and I'll see you then.